everybody, it's Kathy Champion and you're back with me in my craft room. Today I thought we were going to work on a window card, and I'm going to alter this die a little bit to make a window box so that we can put some flowers in it. But I thought this would be really pretty if we cut this in white, and these are the different little inserts that you can put in to make your windows, and we're not going to use all of them. I think I'm going to use this one twice on both sides to make like a drape, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. I pulled out some stamp sets that had some small flowers and leaves and little sprigs. This one I also wanted to do a little ladybug, and then this one also has some more little flowers and leaves and things to help make that what we want it to be. I may also grab another couple stamp sets that has some cute little flowers, and what we're going to do is stamp those. We're going to color them, we're going to fussy cut them, and we're going to dress our little window box. And we're going to call this like a happy spring card. And I've got my trimmer here, and I've got a couple of inks, and this is my Nouveau Hybrid, and this is in Black Shadow, and also my Onyx, my VersaFine Onyx Black. Y'all know I love this for my sentiments, but if I'm coloring with alcohol markers, I will always turn to this one. So, and I do carry these inks in my store. Everything's on sale right now at 25% off. It's a great time to go take a look and see if there's anything in there that you need. I do have some stuff on back order that I'm hoping will be here by the end of the week. I don't know for sure, but I'm hoping by the end of the week. So anyway, without any further ado, let me go ahead and trim this piece of cardstock down to the 5.5. And the reason I'm doing this is so that it will fit in my die cut machine. So we're just going to slice that in half. That makes it a little bit easier to work with. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and I'm going to lay these stamp sets over here just to get them out of my way. The first thing I want to do is I want to build on this piece of paper my window. So I am going to put my window down like, oops, I guess I better put the cut side down, about like that. And I am going to use a little bit of sticky tape. This is the purple tape, and I'm going to use a little of it just to hold that die in place. But you know what? I want to get my pieces on here first. So let's just go right there. Same with this one. And let's go there. Alright, now we can still fit the other pieces in. And as you can see, here's the frame of our window. So let's bring that down right there. Now we need to put in our little rectangle that's actually going to cut our window, because we want this to cut. If we left this as it is right here, we would have a window, but we wouldn't have an opening, and that wouldn't be a very good window. Now it doesn't matter that this isn't perfectly straight on the paper because it's not printed paper. Nobody will ever know. I'm not telling. I am going to grab another piece of my tape, and I'm going to use this painter's tape. What I am going to do is I'm going to stick this off on my my pants just to take some of the tack off of it. And I'll put that down right there, and that will hold that die in place. Now I want to take these pieces, and I want this to look like it is the window dressing. So I am going to put that all the way up into that corner and put that tape down on it. I love this kitty cat right here. He looks like he's getting ready to paw at a bird or something. So maybe we'll put a little bird up here on the windowsill. I thought that would be as cute as can be, and it will also dress up our window. So again, I'm going to take another little piece of this tape, and I'm going to stick it off on my pants a couple of times. Like I said, just to get it where it's not quite so tacky. And I'm just going to hold that right there. And this other piece is basically like some flowers in the window. Now we are going to build up a flower box, and I'm going to show y'all how to do that. We're going to cover this piece down here. So this piece down here really doesn't matter because we're going to cover that up. And that's how I'm going to alter the die a little bit. Sorry for my scratchy throat. The my allergies are raving right now. Raging, I mean, because the pollen here is so bad. I live in the western part of North Carolina, the southwestern part. I'm probably about 80 miles from Asheville and probably about 20 miles from Charlotte. So that gives you a general idea about where I'm located. So the pollen has just been horrible this year. I am going to lift this up and see if we can straighten it up just a hair. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to go and run this through the die cut machine and I'll be right back. Alright, we are back, and as you can see, this was our window pane that we cut. Look how pretty that turned out. I love that. And this is the outside frame of the window. Now I cut a piece, and I actually wasn't thinking that I wasn't recording, so I redid this piece so I could show you. This piece is 1 1/4 wide or high by 3 3/4 in length. So let me write that on here so you can see it. So it's 3 3/4 this way, and it's 1 1/4 this way. So that way you can get a general idea. And you might ask, well, how did you do your angle? Very simple, and I'm going to show you a foolproof way that you can always get your angles perfect, and that's use your trimmer. Now we're going to take this piece, line it up in the track, oops, this way. Just make sure it's in the track and over onto that line. Come down, sink your blade, slice up, and then you're going to turn it this way and do the same thing. Just like that. And this is going to give you your angle for your window box. And all I've done was I took and laid it over top of the decorative edge, and I laid down a piece of Scotch tape just to hold it there, because this is all going to get glued down, so nobody will know what's back there. And if you see where the edges are hanging over just a tiny bit, just take your fussy cutting scissors and just go up like that and just trim that off. Just give it a little haircut, and nobody will ever know that this was not meant to be this way. Nobody but us, and we're not telling. Well, sure we are. We'll share it with everybody, because we are just sharing kind of people. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a piece of my Brutus Monroe Midnight cardstock. And y'all all know how much I love the Brutus Monroe. I have an order of some new colors coming in, and Midnight is one of them. So, and I also have some other colors. The cabbage, which is a beautiful spring green. I've got the red, because red always goes with everything. They were sold out of the black, so I have not been able to get the black in yet. But as soon as I can, I will carry the black as well. Because, I tell you what, everything looks good in black. I am just here to say, I can put on an outfit, and if I got some black in it, I can dress it up or I can dress it down. You can take a black pair of pants, and you can dress that black pair of pants up depending on what you put on. You can put on a nice blouse with them, and a blazer, or a real pretty sweater, and some pearls. Or you can throw on a blue jean jacket and dress it down with a t-shirt, and you are good to go. So like I said, everything goes good with black, and that includes building our cards. Alright, so now what I am going to do is I'm going to cut this piece down, because I'm going to make a mat that is going to be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Now, y'all know how much I love a 6x6 card, and that's what we're going to do. So 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And this gives us a lot more real estate to work with, and that's what I love about a 6x6. So now we can bring this up here, and look at that. We've got plenty of spacing to put our window. And look how pretty that's going to look. And let's get our little piece in here. And once we set that in there, look how pretty. Is that not gorgeous? I am loving how this looks, this blue on this white on blue, white on navy. I think it has such a clean, crisp look. So I think the first thing I want to do is I want to get some glue down on here, because I think if we can set this down evenly, then everything else will kind of fall in place. So I'm gonna eyeball this again, and I'm gonna make myself a mark here and a mark there. Now when I get ready to glue this down, as long as I stay between those two marks, I should be fine. And I think for this on the bottom, I'm going to use some score tape. So let me pull out, let's pull out this roll of score tape. And has anybody gone completely stir crazy yet, having to be at home? We have a walk-in order, I guess a shelter at home order, only essential personnels, and my husband's work, they did deem it to be a necessary job because of the parts that he manufactures. He's a machinist, and he makes parts for big heavy equipment. He makes the hydraulic pumps for big heavy equipment like Caterpillar and John Deere and things like that. So they're saying, because the military may need these parts as well, that his job is essential. So he is still working, and it is scary. It's scary for him to go out and work every day. You know, we are not young chicks. We're getting up in age, so we're just praying and believing that God's going to keep us and protect us. And you know, with everything that's going on, that's about all you can do. You feel like you're taking your life in your hands every time you go to the grocery store. So, you know, we're all in the same boat. We're all experiencing the same fear and the same anxiety over this. None of us has ever seen anything like this. This is a whole new game. So my prayer for everyone today is that God would give you peace. That's what we need. We need peace. We need to know that this too shall pass. We're going to get through this. And we can pass the time by pulling up a chair and sitting down and just doing some crafts. And that's what we're doing here today. Alright, so now I got this bottom part like I want it. I got the score tape on it. So now I want to sit it down right like that. Now that's going to get this part. This part is still kind of unhinged, so to speak, but that's okay. We're going to turn this over, and I think I'm going to grab my glue stick for this, and I'm going to shake that glue up. Now somebody asked me about this, and I hope that you're watching Margie. She had purchased one of these for me. I had these in my store, but I'm sold out right now. I believe there's a little protective tip over the end of this, and this tip is like a ball point, and you can roll it and you can feel it. But to get your glue to come down, this tube is soft right in here. So if you squeeze and push, your glue will come out. But you have to squeeze and push. And see, there's the glue right there. Comes out in little droplets. Margie, I hope that's going to help you. But that's what we're going to do, and I just did that as a demo because I wanted to show Margie exactly how to get that glue to work for her. So anytime you buy a product from me and you have problems with it, I will do everything I can to rectify. So hopefully that will help her, but you have to mash that tip down on the paper. That is crucial. No matter how much you squeeze it, the glue is not going to come out until you mash that little ball point tip. So Margie, you'll have to leave me a comment and let me know if that worked for you. And I'm going to put as much glue down on the edge of this as I can get. And this little precision glue pen is the best for doing stuff like that. Now I'm just going to press that down. I am just going to press it. Just like that. And look, we are glued in place. And how easy was that? Now all we have to do is set in our window panes. And we're going to do that the same way, only I am going to grab my little silicone mat. This is the Stampin' Up! Silicone craft mat. And you can get glue on this without making a mess on your surface. So I'm going to use this little glue pen and I'm just going to dab, dab, dab. And what's so nice about this pen is you can get the glue exactly where you want it. And we'll get some down in these flowers, especially the tops, and how about the kitty cat? And I think now we're ready to glue this down. See all that glue that's left on that little silicone mat that's not on my work surface? I'm just going to sit that in just like that. And there we go. Now we were able to get that glued down without making too big of a mess. And two factors. One is definitely, and I'm going to order some more of these, so if anybody's interested in one of these, keep a lookout on my shop and I'll get some more of these in because this is wonderful. I wish that I could fill that up with my art glitter glue. If art glitter glue would come out with a little pen like that, oh my goodness. Now look at that craft mat. I just took a baby wipe and all of that glue just came right up. Okay, we might have to roll this a little bit or use our bone folder and see if we can mash this down a little bit. Just be really careful going across this lattice work because you don't want to tear it. But you do want to get this glued down so it doesn't peel up. Oh, so cute. Alright, what I want to do now, since we got this on here and it looks so nice, I want to work on possibly doing some flowers. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock and I am going to stamp out a bunch of flowers. So I'm going to do that and then I'll join right back up after I get them all stamped. Nobody wants to sit here and watch me stamp 25 or 30 flowers. So I'm going to use some off of this stamp set. When I come back I'll show you all the different stamp sets that I use to do these on and we will be right back. Okay folks, I'm back and as you can see I got all of my little flowers. I laid them up here because I just wanted to see how they looked, but I ended up only using the stamp set from under my umbrella and I used these little images right there and I think that they worked out really good for me. I was real pleased with the way these turned out. And the flowers are all pretty uniformed in size, so that made it easy for me to be able to position them where I wanted them. So I'm just going to stick these back down onto the the little plastic sheet so that I can keep up with them. Y'all all know how upsetting it is to lose a stamp out of the stamp set. We've all done it. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop these back in here because I don't want to lose them. And what we're going to do now is I want to decide how I want to put these stamp sets down. And I'm thinking, or the stamps, I'm sorry, the little images. I want them to hang over the edge like that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start gluing. But I think I want some to be up and some to be down. So I'm going to grab some of my dimensionals. And I'm going to need some tiny ones for these flowers. So I'm going to get these little bitty ones. These are just on a little card like this, and I'm not even sure where I got these because I've had them for a long time. But these will work really good for all the little tiny places that we're going to want to put them. So I am going to stick one right in the middle of this, and maybe one over on the other side. These can be a little tedious to work with because they are small, but that's okay. We're gonna make this card work. Now, if you are not a person that likes to mess with little tiny fussy cutting like this and coloring little small images like this, you may want to get some stickers and just use stickers on yours. You know, it's totally up to you because you need to make this project yours. So I'm going to put this one down and just let it peek out from under. So I'm going to grab my art glue as well. I enjoy a fussy card. I enjoy the process of making something that's a little fussier. Maybe it shows that you've put a little time and thought into the card. Because I think people appreciate the workmanship of a card like that. So I'm going to grab this one, and I think I'm going to put him right about there, and I'm going to glue him down. And then I'm going to put one up underneath him. Say him, but you know, the flowers could be girls. I just think these are so cute. And I think this one is going to go up, so we're going to get a dimension. And I'm going to put that right there. I think I'm just going to do the one on it. And I want this one to live maybe right about there. You know, because in real life flowers will be kind of up and down if you've got them hanging in a flower box. They're going to kind of live all over the place wherever they want to. But I think this is a really good way to do your images so that you have some that are laying flat and some that are, you know, kind of up. And I think that's just a real pretty way to display these. So maybe we'll put that right there. So again, little glue. And then I'm going to tuck that up under there just like that. And now I need a smaller one, so I'm going to go in and grab this one, and I'm going to pop this one up. Or do I want a bigger one? I'll tell you what, let's go across here a minute. Let's put one right there. So this one I'm going to pop up as well. I just went ahead and put both of those on that one. Pull off those little backers. They can be a booger to get off. And we're going to do this one about like this. And maybe this one down. And then we can come back and strategically put these. I think we'll put this one on dimension. I think the simplicity of this this card with the white window and the white silhouettes in the background, I just think it's so stinking cute. I think any crafter would love to get, well, I won't say crafter, I'd say anybody would love to get a card like this. It is just pretty. Yes, it was a little fussy. You did have a lot of work to get all these little flowers cut, but look how stinking cute that is. I think I will pop one up right there. And the fun part is putting this together. You know, after you do all this hard work and then you see the vision of it coming together when you actually get all of your pieces in. Just like that. And I think I want this one to go right about here. Or do I want it here? No, I want it here, and I want to pop it up. So we can probably do two on this one. So I'm going to try pulling two off at the same time, and I did. And glue them on right there. Making sure they're not sticking off. Now I'm going to go back and I am going to stickle these flowers, because I think that stickling is going to give them some really good definition and just really kind of bring that window box to life. I love that. I think it's so cute, and I did make the flowers look like they were coming down lower on one side, because if any of you have flower boxes or even a dish garden, nothing is ever perfect in them. They're always kind of scattered, and you'll have one side that will hang a little lower than the other. And I wanted that effect on this card. I wanted it to look real. I think that's the word, real. So let me get my diamond stickles, and I think they're right here. I usually keep my diamond stickles pretty close by because these are my favorite. Everybody knows that. I love the way they pick up the light from whatever color you put them on. So now once we stickle this, we will have to let this dry before we can do anything else. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of stickles. I don't want to put a whole lot. I just want enough to make these look like they have been kissed by the sun. Maybe the dew has settled on them and now the sun's coming up. And they are gorgeous. Just a little bit. Now if you're impatient, the best thing to do is to do this before you get ready to go to bed. And when you get up the next morning, your stickles will be all dry. So if you're one of those people that have a hard time waiting for something to dry, and try that. Just wait until you get ready, right before bed, do any of your stickling and just walk away and leave it. And when you get up the next day, everything will be ready to go. I'm going to go back and put just a tiny bit on the leaves here and there. And it's amazing what a little bit of stickles can do. Oh, look at that. I don't know if y'all are catching the light. I don't think the camera's picking it up, but they look beautiful. You'll just have to take my word for it. Okay, so I'm going to lay this to the side so it can dry. I'm going to put it over here somewhere where I will not put my hand in it. And I am going to grab, I want to look for a stamp set because I want something that I can put to the top that is like a greeting, a spring greeting, because I think that looks so springy with that beautiful white window, the window box, the silhouettes. All of it just looks so pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and look for a stamp and decide how I want to put the stamp on there. So I'll be right back, folks. Just hang in. Okay, y'all, I am back, and as you can see, I have completed our window. These flowers I stickled, as y'all saw earlier. I've put a couple of birds and some butterflies on here. A little butterfly here, one here and here. And these two butterflies came from Maymay's stamp set called New Creation. And this butterfly and the birds came from Tracy and Bill from Mindless Crafting. The little butterfly came from Spread Your Wings, and the bird came from Spring Blossom, two of their stamp sets. So I just wanted to let you know where I got each of these items. The other thing that I wanted to do, I don't want to cover up my window. So I think I'm going to leave the front of the card as is, but we're going to do some fancy footwork on the inside. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cut a card base, and I'm choosing this white because I think that the card base in the white with the blue being the matte will be very pretty. So I'm going to cut this 12 by 12 piece down to a 6 by 6 card, which is 6 by 12. And we're going to score it in the middle at 6 inches. And see how easy this trimmer makes it to cut a 6-inch piece and also to score a 6-inch piece. So I'm going to move my blade up to the top, and then using my score, I'm going to score that in half. And now we have a perfect 6 by 6 card base. Just that simple and easy. I am going to grab my bone folder because I want to give this a good crease. Just like that. And then we can go ahead and adhere this onto our card base. And look how pretty that's going to look. I love the way this card came together. It was a little bit of a fussy card because cutting all of the little pieces out can be a little tedious. But if you like to fussy cut and you like to color, then you will definitely enjoy the process of making this card. So I'm going to just use some art glitter glue, and I am going to just put a good amount of glue over here on the back, and we're just going to glue it down, giving that nice little margin all the way around the edge, just like that. And I'm just going to press it because I don't want to upset the work that I've done on the front of this card. Isn't that pretty? That white frame around it just really sets it off. Now I was thinking about doing Happy Day, and I still might do something. This is the way I check to see if a stamp will work. I might put Happy Day right across there. Let's see if we can make that work where it will look okay, because I do like a sentiment on the front of my card. I think it adds so much to it. Now this was a butterfly that I did not adhere down. Why don't we put him right about there? I didn't realize I didn't stick that one out. It's a good thing because I think it was right there. And I really want this piece to go across the middle, and now it can look like the kitty cat is batting at that butterfly that he sees on the windowsill. Now I took a scrap piece of paper, and I am going to stamp this sentiment right here. I think we can do that on a small stamp block. Yep, and this is a small, let me get that even because I can tell that was not even on my stamp block. There, much better. We're just going to use our VersaFine Black Onyx ink to ink that up. And then I'm going to stamp it right about here. Just like that. Yep, I think that'll work. And I'm going to use an old punch. This is an older Stampin' Up! Punch, and it's one of their older label punches. It's back when the whalebone punches were popular, and I think the sentiment will fit in here perfectly. And it does. So what I'm doing is just trying to make sure I get it even on each side, top and bottom. And I'm going to punch. And then we're going to see if this will fit right across here. And I think what I'll do is I'll pop that up so it'll have a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to grab my little dimensional little pop dots, and I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to put one on each end and maybe one in the middle. And I think this will put a sentiment right there to let you know this is a happy day. You know, the birds are singing, the flowers are blooming. Even though everything is kind of going haywire in our world today, we got to keep the faith and believe that things are going to get better. So I pray every day for an ending to all of the misery that everybody's experiencing right now. And I'm just going to lay that down just like that. And I think that's beautiful. It says exactly what I needed to do. It didn't take away from the integrity of the card, so I think that worked out absolutely perfect. So now what I want to do is I want to work on the inside. So I think I want to put down a mat on the inside of the navy. So I have a scrap up here, and it's not quite big enough, but we're going to make it work because we don't need a big piece in here. So I am going to cut this down to, let's see what this is. This is 5 1/4, so we're going to cut it 5 1/4 that way because I do want to keep it square. So let's do it at 5 1/4. And then I'm also going to cut another piece that's going to be 5 inches of white, because I think what makes a card so rich and beautiful is layers. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece in. And this piece is going to go in right about here. Just kind of eyeballing it and making sure I have about the same amount all the way around. And then I'm going to cut this piece, and I want it to be cut, like I said, at 5 by 5. So I'm going to cut a piece off at 5 inches. And then I'm going to turn it and cut it at 5. And that will probably be an inch off of it, or maybe, yeah, it should be an inch. And it is exactly 1 inch. And then we're going to use this piece, and this is what we're going to stamp our sentiment on the inside. And I really want this to be an uplifting card. I've been trying to do much more spiritual, meaningful cards during this time because, you know, I feel like we all need to look up and we all need to have more faith than we've ever had before. So I pulled this scripture sentiment, and I want to do this one where it says, "With God all things are possible," because that is so true. We just have to keep our faith centered in Christ and know that, you know, we're going to come through this, hopefully unscathed, hopefully still intact and keeping our faith, because that's what God wants us to do. So I'm going to bring that up about there. I want to get it even on each side, but I want to leave room at the bottom to be able to write a sentiment. So I'm going to grab a stamp block and pick this. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to do it in the Misty. This is a new stamp that I have not used, and I might have to do it twice. So let's go ahead and not take any chances. We put so much work into this card, we don't want to mess up now. So I am going to put that in. Let's make sure I can close my door. Yep. And I'm going to put my bar magnet down here at the bottom. And then we'll put this one right there. And then I'm going to center this at the top again. Eyeballing it. Just make sure I'm getting it centered. Pick it up. And then let's ink it up again. I love the way the photopolymer stamps take the ink. If you're new at crafting, something that all new crafters will learn in time, there is a difference in the quality of stamps. Now see, that's not quite as dark as I wanted. It took real well, but I'm going to ink it again. That's why I'm so glad I decided to go with the Misty, because that way I know that my position will be perfect. And there, that is gorgeous. Now one other thing I want to do is I want to put one of those butterflies, and I want to use the stamp set I just showed you. Here it is. I want to do one of these butterflies, and I think I'm going to go with this bigger one. This is from the New Creation stamp set, and I will put links to all these products below so that you can look for them. And I think I want to do a butterfly here, and I'm going to leave that stamp where it's at, and I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up. And I'm going to go ahead and ink that up and stamp it right there. And again, I'm going to ink it again and stamp it. Very good. I'm just going to take my cloth and I'm going to clean that ink off right there and a little bit off of the stamp, because I want to reposition the stamp, and I want to put another butterfly up at the top, the same one, but he's going to be flying up toward this corner, and I think that'd be really pretty. So let's do it about like that. Now if you're ever trying to position your stamps and they stick to your fingers where you can't move them around, grab a pencil with an eraser tip on it, and that will allow you, if I can find one with an eraser on it, all of a sudden I'm not finding my pen, here we go. You can actually move your stamp around. It will not stick to the eraser, so you can get the perfect placement of your stamp just by using your eraser tip. So I'm going to put that magnet back there, pick that up, and see it left a little bit of an imprint. That's okay, because that's exactly where we're going to stamp it at, so that is alright. And I never ever stamp without getting ink all over me. I know someone said at one time that they needed a Misty because they got ink everywhere. It really doesn't matter whether you have a Misty or not. Ink is messy. The good thing about the Misty is that you can stamp twice. If you don't get a good impression the first time, you can come back and get another really good impression. So that's the benefit of the Misty. Alright, so we have the inside of this card is ready, and I think that looks really pretty. We have room here to write a little personal note. So I'm going to sit this over here, and we are going to go ahead and glue this down, and we are going to be able to call this card done. So let's use some art glitter glue, and I'm just going to put a generous amount, if I can get my glue to, left my pen out again, and you know with art glitter glue it only takes a moment. So let's see if I broke that loose. Let's see. Yep, I did. And now let's put this down. I'll try not to get my head in the camera, but I do want this to be nice and even, just like that. Alright, that card is done, and I think it turned out beautiful. I love the fact that we have Happy Day here. It does look like a very happy day. It looks very springy. And then inside we have this beautiful sentiment with God, all things are possible. You can color your butterflies if you like. I'm going to leave everything black and white on the inside because I like the look. I think it looks very refined and polished. And I think we got a lot going on the outside, so I think it turned out really good. Y'all have to leave me a comment, let me know if you like this card. If, you know, if making this much fuss over a card is something that you would be willing to do. And like I said, if you do not have a window die, you can cut a rectangle. You can do maybe a 4x3 and make your own rectangle piece and put your strips in it to make a window pane and cut you a flower box. So don't limit yourself because you don't have a window die or you don't have a cricut or something that will that will allow you to cut a window frame. You can still make this card and dress it up without having the exact items that I used. So I hope that you were inspired by this card, and I hope that you will try something similar. Try making a window box, even if you use a stamped window, and just be creative. That's what this is all about. And in these times right now, we're all kind of stressed out and we're all kind of homebound. So go in your craft room, or if you don't have a craft room, pull your stuff out on your kitchen table and just try to relax, get your mind off of everything, and do something creative. It's good for your soul. So I'm going to close out for now. I want to thank you all so much. Let me remind you before we go that my 25% off in my Random Acts of Crafting online craft store ends tomorrow night at 11:59. So if you are interested in purchasing anything, please go over and visit and take advantage of that sale, because it will go off at 11:59. That's 1 minute before midnight. So after you go to bed tomorrow night, the sale will be over. So there's still a lot of really good products in there, ink pads and dyes and paper pads and all kinds of good stuff. So go take a look, and hopefully you'll be able to stock your stash. Since we can't get out and go to the store, this is a great way to get product delivered to you at your door. Nobody's sick in my house. We are all doing really well. We are trying to stay in as much as possible, only going out. My husband is still working because his job is considered essential. So we are staying healthy though, so I thank God for that. I know that He has us in the palm of His hand, and I'm trusting that. So as I always tell you in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven, because He is so worthy. Thank you so much for watching, and until we craft again, God bless.